Ronda Rousey has called out WWE for this Liv Morgan mistake. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that mistake is, why Ronda is so fired up about it, and why I find it to be interesting. And I think you will as well, because everybody knows that Liv Morgan is doing some of the best character work of her career. Now, with Ronda Rousey, she's had 2 stints with WWE in which she's been able to work with several notable talent, one of which has been Liv Morgan. Also, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. Obviously, most notably, WrestleMania 35 in 2019, the first ever all-women's main event of WrestleMania. It was Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, triple threat for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, in which was also the swan song for the first one of Ronda Rousey's tenure with WWE as Becky Lynch walked out of MetLife Stadium as double champion. Now, fans may remember that it was Morgan who cashed in her Money in the Bank contract and defeated Ronda Rousey to win her first ever singles gold in WWE at the Money in the Bank PLE just 2 years ago. Because in the summer of 2022, Liv Morgan not only won Money in the Bank that night, she also walked out as champion. This also led to them working a program that fall, which ultimately led to Morgan dropping the title. They also feuded over the women's tag team titles in 2023. Now, if you recall 2023, that was an interesting time because Ronda, she was on her way out of the company and made it very, very clear that she wanted out. But she wanted to do a tag team run with Shayna Baszler in which they won the tag team titles. But they were also going to feud, and they had to do so in a very short period of time because Ronda was so fed up with this company that she wanted out desperately. That led to Money in the Bank, ironically, a year later, in which Ronda and Shayna teamed up against Liv Morgan and I believe it was Raquel Rodriguez, and they kicked it off there. Now, Morgan, she is slated to team up with Dominic Mysterio to take on Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest in a mixed tag team match at this Saturday's Bash in Berlin PLE. And while speaking on her gaming stream, Ronda Rousey looked back on her time about working with Liv Morgan. She said that WWE did them dirty at their feud 2023 as they had them hamstrung by a bunch of people. This is what she had to say. I could come back some other time, and no. Listen, guys, I'm not wrestling anymore. Let's be honest. I love Liv. She's like my freaking favorite. You guys read my book. There's a lot of me talking about how amazing she is in there and how they did us dirty during our run. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So what exactly is she talking about? Well, she felt like that tag team run with her and Shayna Baszler could have been a heck of a lot better. And I would agree. But at the same time, Ronda, I'm sorry, that feud had to be cut short. Just like they did her wrong with Morgan in 2022, right? Like, this is exactly what the issue was under Vince McMahon. This was the exact issue in which WWE had for years. And it was all because Vince McMahon would change his mind on a whim. We've heard and saw reports, thank God it's changed, about the fact that creative would change on a whim. Whenever Vince McMahon didn't like something, someone sneezed, he didn't get his way, he had to like this child, well, he would just rip up the script and he would go with something else. And guess what? Talent suffered because of that. You look at 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, into 2022, that creative was terrible. To the point where All Elite Wrestling, a company which never even had a television deal, was able to launch on its own and get the rally support from fans. Being able to get a television deal after only holding, a handful of events, one pay-per-view event, and some Pyro Fest shows, nothing major. And the fans, they desperately wanted for an alternative to be there. And so they helped launch AEW, and then when WWE Creative got hot, they go back to WWE because Triple H is doing such great things. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Now with Liv, with Ronda, that should have been a more notable feud. That should have been something in which we're still talking about. But no. What happens? They screw it up. Vince screwed it up. Ronda Rousey has been very vocal about the fact that WWE would just do her wrong. As she would say here with the Liv Morgan thing, do her dirty with creative, with booking, with the way that her matches were laid out and her not having proper rehearsal time. And I'm not necessarily saying that she's all wrong. I'm not also saying that she's all right. With Liv Morgan, I've talked about this in past videos and long-term community members, they will remember this, that I have been very vocal on which I thought WWE dropped the ball on Liv Morgan numerous times. It was always this start and stop push, and it wasn't until Triple H really got to the point where he had his back up against the wall. It wasn't even just a Vince McMahon thing. This was a Triple H thing. People forget about that. With Liv Morgan, it was a situation in which they never gave her the proper chance. It was start and stop. It was, well, when we need a body, okay, we'll put her on television. When we need a plug-and-play type of person, we'll put her on television. When we need her in a title match, we'll put her in there, and then she'll just lose and put people over. They had no real agenda for her. And it wasn't until Rhea Ripley got injured, suffered an AC joint sprain in her shoulder earlier this year, coming out of Mania, which, by the way, she was going to be feuding with Liv Morgan. I'll give them that. And when Liv did return at the Royal Rumble, she made it very, very clear that she was going to go on a Liv Morgan revenge tour. And she went into a Becky Lynch feud. And you could start to see that, okay, WWE, they're starting to do something with Liv. They see something in Liv, and they're going to try to capitalize on the momentum in which she has. And I'm grateful that they did that. Because as circumstances play out, Rhea Ripley goes down with an injury. And oh, by the way, Becky Lynch, her contract's coming up, and she wants to take time off, and she wants to go hang out with her family and raise her child. So you need a top star on Monday Night Raw. And so they give Liv Morgan the chance, thanks to Rhea, that feud, thanks to Dominic Mysterio, one of the most hated heels in all of pro wrestling, thanks to Becky Lynch doing the honors and doing a favor twice in 2 nights, back to back. First at the King and Queen of the Ring, PLE in Saudi Arabia, and then 2 nights later at a steel cage match on Monday Night Raw. That helped put Liv Morgan in a different stratosphere, and it helped her be able to get over even more and even bigger and in a much more important way. That's what Liv Morgan was able to do. That is what Liv Morgan has been able to do. And that has helped WWE, and that has helped Liv Morgan and Monday Night Raw and that women's division. And she's now been able to open and close and do multiple segments at Monday Night Raw events every single week, right? Like, she's a prominent star. And Ronda Rousey, she understands that the women's division is much better off than where it was. I just hope that she will just stop knocking the company, even though she gives me pretty good content to talk and write about.